How are you? Ladies
I'm
and
so
gentlemen,
good.
welcome to the podcast, Benito Skinner.
Oh my God, this is a dream. I'm truly California dreaming. Like it literally says dream behind you on the left and on your shirt. I'm like, she's manifesting. Let's go. I'm obsessed.
I know. I mean, maybe it's like my subconscious telling me I want to live in LA, but I miss LA.
Please, please come. It is, I mean, obviously it's weird everywhere, but it's really nice. The weather is warm. I just
How
went
is
on a
it
walk
compared
outside.
to living in New York?
Well, I just lived in an absolute shoebox. You
Right.
have been in it. You were in that apartment, and I made you put on a full Elsa costume I mean, it was just so tiny. Like, you've seen that Lucas Gage where the director, like, shits on where he's
Yes, where he
living.
lives.
That
Yeah.
video. Yeah, I'm like, I can't even imagine what they would have said about my Brooklyn place. Like, it was not it. And I have so much stuff because, I mean, I feel like you'll feel me. You just never know when you might need like a full costume for something. So I just
Hmm.
keep everything. So it's just been nice to have more room. There are ceilings here that are over 6 feet, which is nice. It's just been different. I have space finally,
When I
which is
came to
great.
your apartment in Brooklyn, I remember walking in. Yeah, you were like, so change in front of the refrigerator. And I was like, great, great, great. But
Literally.
I was like, where
Terry is just like sick to his stomach.
the
He's just like so embarrassed. He's like, I can't believe you let her see it like this. I'm like, see it like what? This is it. Like,
But that is just the creative space that you needed to be in because I thrive in
totally.
chaos.
Oh,
This whole
absolutely.
this whole like being home, taking care of myself, it is creatively done so much damage to me. If I'm
Hmm.
not burning the candle at both ends, running around, that's the only way I come up with ideas. So this
I
whole like
completely
I'm at
agree.
home, I'm walking every day, I'm fucked. I'm dead as a doornail when it comes to any ideas.
No, Miss Taylor Swift being like, in isolation, I was able to make this. This wasn't what I had planned. I'm like, I literally am like scrolling through my notes app. Like, what the fuck did I come up with 8 years ago that I can
Yeah.
film now? Because you're right. I haven't written any like stand up really or anything because we're not experiencing anything except this. And I'm like,
Thank
no
you.
one's going to want to hear our set about quarantine in a year. That's going to be hell. We don't want to talk
you
about it.
you get it. Like I have to
Yeah.
finish my tour, so I had like 40
Yeah.
other cities that I have to do, and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, okay, I have to change the top 30 minutes of the show, but nobody wants to fucking talk about COVID. At no
No.
point are there maybe like masks, am I right,
Literally, like anyone else like fucking sick of their partner. Like literally Terry yesterday was just like, you're so nitpicky all of a sudden. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just like nitpicky of everything. Like I feel like all of a sudden I have like the senses of a dog and I can
Right.
like hear everybody eat and bite their nails. Like I'm absolutely going insane. But yeah, it's the creativity is not flowing in the way that I would like it to. I
but
like running around all the time.
But I commend you because you're still cranking out material. I
Mhm.
literally was so good. Like March, April, May, June was my sweet spot. And then like I
Yeah.
did a couple live shows. And now I'm just at the point where I'm like, if I don't get out of this fucking house,
Yeah.
I have nothing in the tank, Benny.
No,
Nothing
no,
left.
no. And my favorite is when like I'll be somewhere on a script, like I'm writing this Kardashian Christmas thing, and I'm just like, okay, I don't even know if this is funny anymore. Like I
Right.
almost sit with things longer because I just have more time to sit with it. So I'm like, I'll put something out and I'm like, honestly, I don't even know if there's a single joke in this. Like gun to head. Like I hope you guys like it. But yeah, I think we're definitely more of the bop, 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 bop. Like
Yeah.
I need that. And then you interact with so many more people and they give you ideas just from what they say. Like that is
Yeah,
also
it's everyday life. Like somebody's going to say something crazy to me at Trader
mhm.
Joe's, and I'm going to
Yeah.
absorb it and be like, great, I got a whole new bit. But when
Yeah.
it's just me hating my whole family that I'm stuck
Yeah.
here with,
No, exactly.
that joke's old.
It's honestly just on me being hateful at that
Yeah,
point. Like it's not enjoyable for anyone else.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to meet the me after this.
Mhm.
I think there's gonna be a different vibe, a different energy.
A different energy. Do you have
Yeah.
anything on your, like, what's on your, okay, they announce at midnight, we're free to go, we're out of
Mhm.
jail, no one's going to get sick. Where are you going? What are you doing?
I've got this. I've got this.
Mhm.
I need to listen to Chromatica, Gaga's
Oh,
album. I need to
yeah.
listen to it so loud. I need to be absolutely coated in sweat and I need a bartender to ignore me
Yes.
Like I need to be wanting to order a fucking tequila sunrise and the bartender refused to look me in the eye. That's what I need.
I keep saying, I'm like, my biggest thing is I want to be, I don't even like Miami. I need to be in Miami in a tight dress from BB or like Charlotte Russe, you
No,
know,
literally.
where like the hood of my vagina is hanging out and I'm in YSL shoes that are 6 years too old and they don't
with
fit.
the platform at the top.
Yep.
Yes, bitch.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I need. That's the level of just sheer just torture I need to be in.
Mm-hmm. No, I think I'll probably like get my nipples pierced the first night I go out. I'll take them out after that, but I do think that that's a part of it. I think we're literally going to be, it's going to be the roaring 20s.
Oh, it will be.
It's going to be despicable and everybody's going to be on tour.
Yes.
It'll be hell. It'll be hell. We'll play the same night in every city. Didn't we do that? What was it, like Dallas? And you're like, yes. Are you here? And I'm like, no, I'm literally here at a Best Western. Like,
yes.
Where are you?
Okay, so for people who don't know too, I feel like our careers kind of took off at the same time and we became friends. When did we meet? We met online like 3 years ago.
Yeah, because I had just done, it was almost like eerily at the exact same time because I had just done a Britney vid that kind of circulated and then you just started Britney 911. So it was like everybody was sending you to me. And previously I had been obsessed with your pit bull, but I didn't know where the videos were coming from. I just kept seeing them on random, like, you know, those like straight guy, like laugh bro, like pages. And it was like your pit bull. So it was like that got sent to me. And then I don't know when we actually met, maybe in LA.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but I know it's as soon as you walked into whatever room it was, I was like, this is my soulmate. Like I just get him. We just get each other.
Truly. And I think what's so fun is that for some reason we are, and Terry, it's like we both love the exact same things in pop culture. So it's just like the second I can have like a margarita with someone who watches all the same shit as me, oh, it's just heaven. Yeah.
Well, the other thing that we bonded on is, and this is not to talk shit about other performers, but we're in this weird space of like, we work really hard. We make a lot of shit. I mean, you make way more shit than I do these days, but it's like, there's so many other people in our business that are all maybe not competition. I mean, everyone's doing their thing, but that take this shit so seriously. And I remember we did sit at Petty Cash in LA once and I had a margarita. I just come from like an audition. You're like, honestly, Heather, you were like, honestly, can we just talk a lot of shit right now? I was like, yes, please, let's talk shit.
No, I remember. Oh my God, I had a spray tan at that. I remember that.
Yes.
I showed up and you were like, okay, how's it going? Yeah, orange vibes. No, I think what was so refreshing is that I think that people in the comedy space had looked down on internet comedy. I think they were used to prank videos and they were used to I almost call it like, I don't know if it has a term, but it's like people who are still trying to look hot while they do comedy videos, which was like a thing, which like no hate. I just like have never laughed at that. Like if you're trying to look cute in the video, it's not funny to me.
Can I tell you how many of those like in that King Bach world, those girls that are like his, like, I don't know, his harem, those girls now send me messages and they're like, will you do a video? I'm like, fuck no, you got,
I'm like, what?
Why? What is this?
And they're all the same. They're like, when your man is cheating and you want to fuck his brother. And I'm like, wait, what is this? I'm like, what is that? I don't know if I get that joke, but I love it. I'm like, you look so pretty.
When you're running late to a hair appointment and you leave the oven on and you're like, no.
Literally, I'm obsessed that someone's relating to this because no matter what, they'll have like 30,000 comments. And I'm like, okay, you're a business. What? Yeah, that is what made it a little tricky in New York to be on stage and not have people say like, please welcome YouTuber Benito Skinner. And I'm like, nobody even follows me on YouTube. I'm like, no one cares about my fucking YouTube. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, but
I kind of take a little offense. Like I have to correct people now and they're like, influencer. I'm like, I'm not a fucking influencer. I'm the opposite. We're on tour.
I'm like, maybe I'm influencing you to like get some cute stuff. But like also I think it's it almost felt like, it's like an elitism to what you have to do to get into something. And I'm like, no, I think that of course you can, if you want to look down on this, maybe it's not for you, but at the same time, like, I think that it's made it so that so many more people can break into this industry that had such a weird like iron gate on it for so long of like I grew up in Idaho. Like, I don't know anyone in the biz. So it's like, I'm like, do you just like drop your headshot off somewhere? I literally thought I was like, I'm going to get discovered in some airport. Like, just you watch, bitch. Like, I'm like, putting on concealer when I'm like 12. I'm like, I'm about to get discovered. But yeah, I think it is so, I don't know, hopefully more and more people will just stop that the weird judgment of the internet as being this place that's just like a cesspool, because it's like it is and it isn't. You can elevate it. Like,
also fuck those people, because they're the people laying in bed every night watching our videos being like, honestly, this brings me joy. I'm like, you just took you just took an antidepressant, you know what I mean?
You just got your Lexapro 10 milligram, just like me.
And you turned on my dumbass videos, me in a skull cap being Pitbull, Benny playing Kris Jenner, and like, don't ever try and say that what we're doing is not changing the world.
No, because it's no different than, okay, maybe I watched someone's Netflix special, which I can't wait for yours. It needs to happen immediately. I'll do anything. I'll make a deal with the devil for that. But then, I'm in bed and Terry's my boyfriend. Also, I'm acting like, oh, Terry, all your listeners are like, oh, Terry, of course. But we're in bed and we're watching your stories and like, we're there with you. And I'm like, it's the same. It's like content.
Right.
And actually this is easier. I don't need to like steal someone's logins.
Right.
It's like, I don't know. I have many thoughts on this. You know that.
Yeah. I know. I probably sound like I'm coming from just such a bitter place, but I feel like
yeah, I know. We just sound like bitter bitches, but
it's whatever. It's interesting now too, because I have other comedians, especially like male comedians, and I'm not talking about like about like straight male comedians who are now like, oh, okay, I've seen your shit. It's funny now they want to interview me, and I'm like, yeah, but you didn't give me the time of day a year ago because you just thought one, I was like a funny thick chick, putting on wigs, being a silly goose. Mm-hmm. But now you want me, Joe Rogan. Actually, he has never called me, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, if Joe's asked me as your manager, you should do that show. I was like, I would love to see you roast Joe. Yeah, it is. It's interesting. You get kind of like the weird, the people, and I have so much respect for people who have just done the stand-up grind.
Yeah.
Like, I could never, I just know I couldn't, but I love the people. I mean, the people have them like go off, but you do start to see some of them crack and be like, that video was kind of funny. And like, thank you. I'm going to thank you so much. They'll like only like my Annie video or something. And I'm like,
thank you, Mark.
You're the best.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, boyfriend of guest at this show. Like, it's hell. I love it. But I do miss tour for that reason.
I miss tour so much. And when you're doing tour, people don't realize like you do not sleep. You just travel. It's just insane. And like, you're like me, it's a one-man show, you know, it's like for 90 minutes, an hour, whatever, you're like, this is it on the stage. I get off stage, I'm like soaked through my underwear, and I don't know if it's like a bladder thing or a sweat thing. I don't know what happened. You know what I mean?
The amount of like Laura Mercier powder that I packed on my face before shows. And the one you came to in LA, I remember the fan on stage broke, and I was just like, people must think I am literally, like, I just did 12 lines of coke before this show. Like, I am drenched in sweat. I'm like giving it all. It is the most draining and like recharging thing ever. Yeah. I'm like that. You get so many ideas on it, and like so many, oh my God, and there will be a bad show, but then when there's a good one, it makes up for everything. Like, that's ever bad happened to you. Like, if you have a good crowd, it's different for the rest of your life.
I still talk shit about Baltimore just because everything going into the city, like the hotel was fucked up, the rental car was fucked up, the venue was fucked up, everything about that show was a shit show. I ended up actually having a great time, but to this day, like I have these just PTSD sweats about Baltimore, and people from Baltimore still get so upset. I'm like, guys, it's not you personally. It's just the city was a dumpster fire for me to perform in. Yeah.
For some reason, like, no, there'll just be those places you land and you're like, here's the thing, babies, I'm going to give you my all tonight, but it is not, just so you know, it is not my best. Like, I can't, I had such fun at my shows in Florida, but for some reason, the humidity and all that, I was just like,
dying.
I was dying. And it was like kind of towards the end of the tour. I remember, I think it was in Orlando.
Sounds about right.
I was like, Tampa, what's good? And like, literally so earnestly was like, Tampa, how are you guys doing tonight? And they're like, this is Orlando. And like, I was like, wow, this is the worst moment of my life. Like, and then, and then you'll go to a show the next day and it'll change your life. So it's okay.
See, I thrived in Florida, but I'm also, I think it's because I had that just enough white trash because I'm from Georgia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
No, I love it.
like NorCal, I did a show in San Jose and it was so wild. Like you go to these different cities and you realize like the level of fucked up people are at, right?
Oh yeah.
So I come in, I do these jokes about like this bad time I was on a bad weed trip or whatever. And the crowd, I was like, this is weird. This joke kills in every city. And then and halfway through, I'm like, oh, let me tell you about the time I did pills. And the crowd goes wild. I was like, because y'all are all Silicon Valley. You're Adderall out of your fucking mind. You're like, everyone was grinding their teeth in the audience.
Vyvanse.
Yes.
Yeah. They're literally snorting Vyvanse at your show. Yeah. They don't give a fuck about weed. Wow. I love that. Yeah,
and I had that moment. I was just like, oh yeah, it's you got to know your audience. No, play to your audience,
And no one ever preps you for that also because it's like you have your set and you're like, okay, this is the set I do everywhere. And did you ever do a London show?
No, and I'm trying to go over there, but what happened? Was it brutal?
No, it was amazing because they'll laugh at your darkest stuff. Like they will go nuts. And if you say anything shitty about America, they just like lose it. Like that's too much. I think the funniest thing, I love this whole podcast is just like, oh yeah, tour.
Yeah.
I was like, oh fucking tour. But the funniest thing was like you saying the name of the city or anything about the city, they would just be like, what? Like, oh my God, even if it's wrong, like it was like Chicago and I was like, Shy City. And they're like, no one fucking calls it that. And I was just like, hell yeah, I love you guys. Like, they just are like, wait, you know the name of this city. That's insane. You're a genius. Like that to me was always the like, yeah, no, I've been here for a day. Like I went to your mall. Like it was great. I love it.
Yeah. Literally, you guys have Chipotle. We have Chipotle. I get it.
Literally, I'm like, I did eat Buffalo Wild Wings today. Like, what is good, Austin? Like, let's go. Yeah.
I'm trying to, whenever I can get back on the road, I have to finish these other cities. But I'm like, I need to be international. I need to be booked and busy internationally,
Yeah. No, I forced the issue. I was like, I have to be in London. And people were like, okay, sure. They're like, we'll book you a little mini stage. But it's so fun. You have to. Yeah. Give yourself, it's like a little vacation.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm willing, like if they were like, we need you to play a show in Uzbekistan, I'm like, great, sign me up. I'm ready to go.
Let's fucking go. Not me in my last meeting being like, well, how do we feel about Australia? They're like, okay, well, you're probably going to spend as much money as you make. And I'm like, yeah, that's perfect. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm like, okay, breaking even, let's fly. Like,
Benny, I love you so much. This is great.
I love you so much.
Because this podcast, whenever we get together, it's just stupid giggles. But that's truly how I feel. I did not realize, and we've talked about this before off camera, but you and I, because we both came up at the same time, we went from like 1 year not literally being able to pay the rent in our shoebox to like, I could maybe buy myself a jacket, like a couple.
Literally, yeah. That still, I'm like, my roommate all the time, she'll just be like, you can buy a full price item. And I'm like, here's the thing, I can't. I was like, I could not afford my Dunkin' Donuts milkshake for like 2 years and was like breaking a piggy bank open in New York. Like I need it. I'm like, I need my hazelnut swirl, bitch. That it is, yeah. I mean, it's the beauty of the internet and the like weird relationship I have with it because of that. The fact that like, I'm like, oh, we can like take a trip, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing. I'm like, wait, what?
But that's what pisses me off is I finally got paid at like the top of this year. And then it was like, all right, finally, let's go somewhere. And then they're like, the world's going to shut down.
Literally, I was like, I'm going to Italy for Heather's wedding. Yeah. I had my suit picked out. And then they're like, guess what, bitch?
Pandemic.
Yeah, I was like, let's do this. I'm going to drive to Idaho. Like that was my one vacation. I'm like, holy shit, yeah.
Do you get people chiming in, like being like, I haven't seen Larsa Pippen in a while. When are you going to do it? Like they get mad.
Literally.
And you're
they
like,
get pissed.
Yeah.
Or you post one thing, like I'll do one impression of somebody. And then for the next month, if that person does anything, they'll be like, okay, well, you got to do it. And I'm like, I literally just did. This would not be funny. Like, I promise. I'm like, no one is asking for it except you, but.
And people don't realize the amount of time it goes into doing shit. And like your videos come out and it could be a tight minute and 30 seconds. And you're like, that took me 6.5 days.
literally. I'm like, I have this like fucking Kardashian Christmas video, and I'm like, the script has changed. Like I have to get costumes. Like it's like I can't make myself not do it. It's like once you do it once, then you're like, well, shit, if I do it kind of in a chill way, people are gonna be like, well, what's going on? Like
right.
this isn't what we signed up. They'll be like, this isn't what we're paying for. And I'm like, again, you're not paying for it. Right. It's free. This is free content. But yeah, I it's like a mix of I love when somebody gives the note of like, you got to bring this back. But then if I bring it back, then that same day, then being like, all right, can't wait for the next one. I'm like, that's going to be in like half a year. Right. Like, you got to give me a break. I'm like, you're going to get sick of this. I promise you. But yeah.
I haven't done characters in a while, and I want to bring them back because I think it's going to bring me joy, but I got so burnt out. And I do characters on the road too. Like I have Ina, and then I open my show with this old character I've done forever, Brenda. But it was she's my fave, and I haven't done her in a really long time. And I'm like, I think I just need to put that. But sometimes when you're doing these characters all the time, you do get like, it does become a personal thing where I'm like, I got really actually like kind of too meta invested in Brenda. And I was like, I got sad because she was like divorcing her husband. And I was like, I need to just take this wig off for a while.
Because, like, what's going on? I'm going to start doing like PCP when I'm Jenny and be like, okay, this has gone too far. Yeah, it is. They do become like your kids in a weird way. And like and then it is that weird thing of like, you give it to other people and then it's their interpretation and then maybe what they want the character to do. And you're like, no, that's completely different than their life. And it's like, wait, okay, no, this is like all supposed to be fun and chill. But yeah.
Oh, I've gotten suggestions before, like, what if Brenda, I don't know, took up meth? And I'm like, that's not on her journey. I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm like, thanks for messaging me. That's really, like, how fucking dare you? My favorite is a lot of times I'll get like things like that. And then they'll like ask me to join like a pyramid scheme. And then they don't follow me. That's my favorite. It's like this combination of like giving me notes, not following. Clearly you watch my videos. I'm like, I love you. Like, you're the best. Thank you.
I'm sure because you're from Idaho and because I'm from Georgia, the amount of girls that have come out of the woodwork from high school asking me to join their Rodan and Fields, their Herbalife weight loss shakes, it's mind blowing.
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable how many pyramid schemes are out there.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, it's amazing. Honestly, the economy's booming. And a lot of same day ticket asks. Which are so fun when you're literally talking to the lighting guy and you're like, can you please just play this one video during my show? And they're like, I kind of can't. And then you're getting a text from somebody who like called you a fag. Yeah. And you're like, and they're like, hey, me and my girl, I got to see you today. And I'm like, no. I'm like, how'd you get my number? Like, you were horrible to me. Like, yeah.
I did a show in Memphis, and I just talked about this on the other podcast, but I had a show in Memphis, and this girl who was not nice to me in college came back with a big group of my girlfriends from college at the show at Graceland. It was like the best night of my life. I got to perform in like Elvis's space. It was sold out. I was like, it was like an out of body moment for me. Totally, and this bitch comes backstage and she's like, I'm like, what are you doing here? And she's like, I came with a girl. It's also like, you were a lot in college. I didn't know you would like make a career out of it. And I was like, suck my dick.
Literally, like,
why are you here? Why are you here?
No, they have to say stuff like that. Like, wow, I didn't know this was all there when I was talking to you. It's like, yeah, clearly you didn't. Like, you inspired half of it, bitch. You. Yeah, it is. It's fun.
It's fun.
There's the like Scorpio gay petty part of me that's
right.
In my core being is like, it's kind of fun.
It makes sense you're a Scorpio. It all lines up.
Yeah. And then you're Miss Pisces.
Yes.
You're honestly, I didn't even realize you were until I made the video. And then after I was like, oh my God.
This is Heather.
This is I'm like, wait, holy shit. Like, that's my girl. Yeah. Oh my God. It's all about the water signs, baby. That's what people forget.
Listen, and we ebb and flow and we're flexible. And that's why I think we thrive in the chaos because we ride the wave. Like, I keep getting interviewed this year. People are like, what did you learn about yourself? And my response is always, I got to learn how to say no and self-care. But then at the end of it, I realize I only do well when there's too much on my plate. That's the only time.
Agreed. That's, I don't know who said it. Maybe it was Sir Kanye West, but it's like I think there was something, I used to be like such a Kanye head. And there was this like, he had something where he said that he's great in fourth quarter. Like he doesn't record lyrics until like the last minute they're due. And I'm like, yeah, that's how I was in college. And I think that I feel like if I have the pressure of like one day for something,
it's going to be
I
fucking
don't know
great.
if you feel this, but I feel like as far as even writing my live show, like I performed it for a year, but I think I wrote it in like 2 days because I like had to deliver it to Caroline's on Broadway and like show them what I wanted to do. And I was just like, shit, I guess like maybe gun to head I can write, but if you give me like a month to do it, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to chill for a bit.
Oh, I'm in the script process right now. And it's like, you know, with these networks, they make you go through notes and then everyone wants to chime in, and I'm grateful for the process. But I'm like, can you just put me on the stage with the camera and I will show up and show you what I'm trying to explain?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I'll just do improv.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, that's terrifying. You're like, oh, no, I got it. You're going to love this scene. I've got it in my head. Like that's the best. Yeah, it is.
Literally.
It is so hard. It's like you just want to, especially because we like to burn bright and fast. It's like any kind of patience. I'm like, that's what quarantine is
right.
Like based around patience. And I'm like, that is
not for
me. Yeah. I don't think it's not my vibe.
It's literally not. It's honestly not my
vibe. Bible, not my vibe. I just can't. Yeah, we'll see. I think 2021 late, after I get Moderna in one cheek and Miss Pfizer in the other, like I'm gonna be back and popping. I can't wait.
Speaking of just vaccines in general,
we had to. We forgot to tell all your listeners we're huge anti-vaxxers. That's what no one realizes. Yeah.
I mean, I am gonna wait like a second. Like I'll be like
0.05 seconds.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait like. I'll let like 5 of my friends get it and I'll be the 6th, because it's always like 1 in 5 people has a unicorn hoof grow out of their forehead. You know?
Which I'm like, okay, chic, born this way.
Born this way.
Yeah.
Or, 1 in 5 gets anal leakage. Like I'll let that happen to them, and then I'll be the 6th.
Totally. I think if they're already coming this fast, we're gonna get like a really cute one soon. I think we're gonna get like the iPod, 3.
Right.
And that's what I want. Like, I don't want the iPod mini that first came out and
held one song.
Yeah, literally just held one Black Eyed Peas song.
Yes.
Like that. I want like 4th generation, and then hell yeah. But also I like want it immediately. So I guess maybe that's tricky. But
right. And everybody who's like, oh, this is going to be the end all be all, the vaccine's going to save us. I'm like, I don't know about y'all, but like I was forced to get 3 rounds of Gardasil shots in college, and HPV is like living alive and well,
Literally.
It didn't work.
Everyone's optimism about it, but then I am I'm worried about everything all the time. So I'm like, okay, if everyone else is optimistic, like, let's go. I'm down for that. I just hope that everybody can fucking get it. That's also terrified. I'm like, I also have no idea how anything's made. That's any kind of like system in my head, like money, like health. I don't understand how any of those things are organized. So fingers crossed.
I literally was watching The Crown, which I hate this show. I just watch it because I hate it so much, with Jeff.
Wait, which season? Because the Diana season has changed my life.
Well, okay, so I tried 1 and 2. I'd fall asleep all the time. Then I said, fuck it, I'll just go to 3 and 4. And I'm halfway through season 4. I love Diana. Yeah, it's everything.
The Diana storyline, because I can't really do period pieces unless it's a movie, because I just kind of...
I don't know about history. I'm like, when was
that's
this?
The thing. No, that's the thing. And then I'm watching the whole time being like, this is canon. Like, this is what they said, right?
Right.
People are like, no, like, this is fiction. I'm like, okay, no, but this is 100% historical fact. So I love it.
I said something to Jeff. I was like, when was this based? And it's like season 3. So it's like the 80s. And I'm like, is this like the 1400s? And Jeff's like, no, Heather, this was 20 years ago.
I'm like, I didn't know they had electricity in 1820. This is sick. Like, we as humans have come so far. Seriously, people doubt us, but we're killing this thing.
But the whole point about like systems and stuff, there was like a scene in season 3, or maybe it's season 4, where Margaret Thatcher is talking about like, or the prime minister is talking about like inflating the money, the pound. And I literally was like, Jeff, I don't understand how inflation works. And he's like, you're a fucking idiot.
No, my favorite thing is what's the econ thing? It's like there's just one supply and demand.
Oh yeah.
I love saying that to someone. I'm like, it's supply and demand. And Terry's like, I know you don't know what that means. And I'm like, oh yeah, mister, I got this. Yeah. I was like, went to Georgetown and all I learned was like how to come out of the closet.
I love saying, if you build it, they will come. That's fine.
Really, honey, buy low, sell high, let's go. Like, it's hell. It's hell. Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. And now, like, I'm sure because, you're writing your own stuff and you've always been a self-starter. And that's what people don't realize. It's hard when you're on the creative side to then also not get swindled on the business side. And
totally.
So like, I've literally put myself in corners where I'm surprised I haven't had to like me too somebody. Cause I'm like, how did I end up doing a show in a basement garage for one old dude named like Rodney? Like, I don't know how I signed up for this.
This is what I was saying, but this is what I was saying before you started recording. I mean, totally off the record,
right?
But it's that we cannot say no, and like the amount of like fake charity events that I have performed for that ended up being birthday parties, like, is not like private intimate birthday parties, and I was like, I thought this was going to the Trevor Project. Like I was like, what? And my friends show up and they're like, you got absolutely honey-dicked. Like you thought like this was a cause, and you're the only person here. But I'm like, honestly, crowd was great.
Crowd was great.
Yeah, I'm like, the 3 girls here loved it. Happy 21st.
You're like, honestly, they had a seafood tower, shrimp cocktail.
Yeah.
I'm good.
And then after they'll be like, what can we pay you? And I'm like, nothing. Just let me go home. Yeah, I'm like, never like delete my email. Yeah.
I also don't know what things are worth. We love a basement party.
God, no.
But when somebody's like, I was going to get an assistant, and like, I'm like, okay, well, what do I pay you? Like $200,000? Like, I don't know what people are supposed to get paid.
I'm still in the 6-year-old that's like telling their friends, like, you're gonna cut my hair forever, and I'm gonna pay you $1 million a year. Like that's still what my head thinks. So yeah, I'm not allowed to go near that. Pretty much. Recently, have somebody helping me do that because I cannot. Like, it's actually, the IRS is listening to this. Like, yeah, we know, bitch. Like, as I'm like, what is this? Like, what's an LLC?
Oh, don't worry. I've got to change. I had an LLC because I just thought that's like what you do. Now they're like, you need an S Corp. Like my accountant's like, we got to change it. I'm like, fuck me. I can't keep up.
I'm like, it's crazy. We're a business. Like I'm like, okay, CEO, like I have all of these entities. I'm like, I'm Kylie Cosmetics. Yeah, it's hell. It's hell. And actually Terry will get a stomach ache from listening to this.
Yes. Yeah.
Because like anytime it's brought up to me, like any numbers thing, I'm just like, yeah, I think I have a meeting this week about it. Like there's always some like elusive meeting I have that's going to cure me of this, but I'm doing the best I can.
Jeff is my rock, and literally he has, thank God, like a finance degree, and he'll have a full Excel spreadsheet. I mean, he's a Virgo, so that makes sense. But there'll be days where he's like, Heather, what do you mean you have 6 checks coming in, but you don't know from who or when you're going to get paid or how much they are? I'm like, I think money's like about to show up, but I don't know when. He's like, God damn it, where's an invoice? I'm like, in my mind,
literally, everything is just brands take a long time, I think.
Yeah.
That's like brands like to sit on their money. Like it's hell. Oh my God. Imagine if we lived together. Imagine if we were together, like in the 60s, you're my beard. I'm obsessed. We would have killed that. We would have killed that. Oh my God.
I would literally like be changing a tire on a car and you just be like posted on the back bumper, like, hey guys, what's up?
In my little 50s shorts. Like, this is my fucking wife, you guys. Gag. I'm obsessed. I'm gobsmacked by this bitch. Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Shit. Let's get back to Terry. Okay. Did y'all meet at Georgetown?
No. So we met right when I graduated. I came out my senior year, and then he went to Colby in Maine. And our best friends, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
He's literally obsessed with the outside.
Yeah, of course he is. Mm-hmm.
I'm obsessed too.
Mm-hmm.
I love a good walk. Mm-hmm. And so his best friend in college and my best friend in college, they went to high school together. So they kind of like set us up a little bit when we first got to New York, because we moved around the same time. But the first night I met him, it was at a birthday party. And I literally get weird talking about parties now during COVID. I'm like, I promise, like it was chill then. I'm like, there were 10 people there. We all got tested. But it was really interesting because it was one of those weird parties where two kind of colleges are there and none of them are speaking to each other. So he just like judged me and didn't say a word. And I thought he was beautiful. And I was like, okay, on the way out, I'm going to make an impression and be awful because they've been so rude to me this whole time.
Good for you.
I was like, oh my God, so great talking to you. Like, love you, babe. And he was just like, what? This guy's trolling me. Like, what the fuck? And hated me, like truly hated my guts. And so then he brought it up to his friend and she was like, no, he makes like dub smashes. You should follow him. And then here we are 5 years later, which is so weird, but
I love it. But Terry is just, he's like the father that I need. Like I love Daddy Terry. He's just
absolutely
so funny. And you guys are so great together, but you work because again, it's a yin and a yang. If you dated anybody who had the same energy as you, you'd kill each other.
No. Like imagine if Mr. Italian Stallion was like up doing stand up every night. Like, no, exactly. I'd be like, I'm so happy you booked that. Like, can you imagine these bitches who date actors? I'm like, what do you talk about? Like, that's hell. They book something and it's like, I'm like, I know that I root for people and I would actively not root for you. Oh, I'm like, that's insane.
I would put Visine in your drink before you get on stage so you have diarrhea. I'd be like, no, he's getting too much stage time. No, he's got to go.
No, literally. I'm like, I would sabotage your career. I can't believe it. And that's why anytime actors break up, I'm like, literally good for them. Like they need to find anyone in any other, like it can still be creative, babe. Just not, that's crazy to me. Two performers being together makes absolutely no sense.
This is why I feel so passionate about like our girl Chloe, who obviously your impressions of the Kardashians are just insane. But like I want Chloe to be with an accountant, somebody who's just crunching numbers, solid, steady. Like I'm rooting for our girl.
Oh, absolutely. I think she would love a hedge fund manager. They're the sweetest.
Yes.
Such good guys. No, I literally sweethearts. No, I'm like, when I try to think of people who are like so happy, I'm like, okay, Matt Damon.
Yeah.
He just like has a beautiful wife who's just like a normal human being. She's not like a model actress and like a whole thing. Who else? I can't believe that's what first came to me. Like fucking Matt Damon. I'm like, as if he's ever like at top of mind for me, but I know that
Yeah, and I feel like
Mr. Zac Efron is just with like just an
Aussie, an Aussie server.
I just imagine if they're Aussie, I'm like explorer. Okay. She hikes. Obsessed.
I think she works at like a bar, but sure, explorer.
Oh, yeah, okay, she's an explorer. Okay, that's my girl. But yeah, it's crazy to me that oh my God, thinking of us with maybe I could potentially musician if they were like a Cancer or a Pisces or something. Maybe.
I could do a professional athlete only because I hate sports. So I would be like, go team, but like not give a shit. I would just be there to hang out with the wives, but like not beef with the wives, like actually like have friends, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't see. It's so different because like if I did athlete the whole time, I'd be like, your internalized homophobia is crazy. Like, of course you're still playing sports. Like you think you have to do this. And they'd be like, no, I genuinely love this. I'm like, yeah, because your dad wants you to do it. Like, wait, I could definitely, Italian Stallion for life, but yeah, maybe you with like a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I tell him like, Jeff's my solid first husband. And then once we murder each other and I get out of prison, because, I've got a great attorney, then we'll see what happens. Maybe
Once they're done with us.
Yeah, no, truly.
I love during quarantine. I'm like, you want to leave me so bad. You wish you could. Like, too bad, babe. Yeah.
I went through something weird during quarantine where I realized I'm so codependent. Jeff and I would be in the same house, but I wouldn't see him all day. And I just one day started crying. I was like, you don't even see me or want to spend time with me. And he's like, we've been in the same fucking house for 3 weeks. I'm like, it's different,
Yeah. Well, you can knock on my door. Like, you should follow me around like a dog. Yeah. We are not living in a house because I would love to maybe just have like a room to myself.
Right.
That would be great.
Did you learn anything about your relationship or even about yourself that like, you're like, oh, fuck, this is a introspective moment to be like, I gotta get my life together during quarantine?
Oh my God. In relationship wise or just like
either?
In general?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I think that I know that I do have to kind of be chicken with my head cut off all the time. Yeah. Like that is what that's what makes me like creative, and also how I feel like I have like space to think of things and kind of like stew with weird thoughts. Like that's where I like come up with stupid shit. So
Right.
I need that like runaround time. And as far as like relationship, I just think I constantly need to get told that I'm perfect and that he loves me. Like all the time. Like no amount will be enough. Like I just need to be told that I'm loved like 50 times a day. So I'm hell. I learned that I'm hell. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's same here. 100%. Like I always thought like my love language is spending time. That's what it is. I just want to spend time. I don't need gifts. Jeff and I are really bad about gifts. Like we don't do birthday gifts or anything. I just want to spend time with you and you to like put down your phone and let's just talk shit about people. That's all I want to do.
Yeah. And let me do it. Every now and then, just let me talk shit.
Yes.
That's key. That's key. And then you can like, I like that you're not a yes man, but like every now and then be like, hell yeah, you're the best.
Yeah.
Terry doesn't really do that. He's very honest, which is like, we love. I'm like, yeah, no, it's my favorite like virtue, but still, I'm like, holy shit. Like I need you to lie to me once in a while.
Yeah, no shit. I need you to just play the game, go along with it, pretend you're glad to be here.
Yeah.
And you're not trapped.
Exactly. You're not. Yeah. It's I just learned about this love language thing. No one told me about this.
I didn't read the book, but I just heard the 5 and I was like, oh yeah, the only thing I get upset about is when people don't want to spend time with me, So
you're fully quality time. Isn't there like everybody has 2?
Yes, you have a giving and a receiving. So, okay, my receiving is I really just like hanging out with people. So my receiving's time and my giving is, what's my giving? Oh, goddamn, I've already fucked this up.
Mine's literally gifts. Like I'm terrible. I'm like a weird aunt. No, I'm like literally like I am obsessed with if I get like a PR thing or something, like I have to give it.
You get
to
high.
My friends and sister, and then and then I have to like tell them that they're spoiled 50 times. Like I'll just always be like, "You're so spoiled," and they're like, "Okay, thanks for like the bracelet. Like you got it for free." But like that is for some reason. They're like dressing up my dolls, my girls. Yeah.
They're like, thank you so much for that box of probiotics, but I'm
literally, like, and I have one friend who she'll take any, like, she's like, sure, like, I'll take it and honestly, like, drive it to Goodwill for you. But like that, that's, I'm like, put on this lipstick. Literally, as my roommate Emily's like, Jesus, she in a sweatsuit I gave her.
Like, ungrateful bitch.
Literally, I'm like, you can leave if you don't like it. Yeah, no, it's hell. Okay, well, think about what your giving one is and let me know. Let me think of in my spending time with you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that yours is what is it?
Oh, actually, I know mine.
Okay, yeah, tell me.
My giving is words of affirmation.
Yeah.
I enjoy making people feel like they're a part of it. Like I love like being like, yes, you got this. Let's go. Oh my God, this is awesome. I don't know why I'm a cheerleader.
Yeah. And your eye contact, like like have moments with people and you also laugh. Like when you laugh, you look people in the eye. Mm-hmm. I know it's like a weird thing. It's like you and then Terry's dad do that for some reason. Who like, oh my God, don't even get me started on him. But like I'm obsessed. But yeah, it's like something about like when it's that it's so specific, but I feel like anyone listening will know what I'm talking about of that like when you're really laughing with someone and you're looking in the eyes when you do it, it's like double the amount of laughter for some reason for me. It's like my favorite. Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable with gifts, like receiving gifts or giving gifts. I get like, they're not going to like it. Or I just am like, I get so uncomfortable. I'm like, here's all my money. Just take it.
I literally wish. I'm hell. I'm like, I got you the best gift you'll ever receive in your life. Like that's how I feel about every gift I give. I'm like, I can't imagine you ever getting anything better than this. Like I am hell. But I'm really fun during Christmas. Yeah.
But every time we've texted, you're like, and Terry says he's going to spoil you rotten. And I'm like,
literally. But he is. That's the thing. Like he is going to spoil you with dinner the second you land. And I'm going to do your makeup.
Yes.
I cannot wait. Literally, people come over for dinner and then they leave like looking like a drag queen. And like they feel sick. But that's what we want.
I say my sense of style is I always want to look like an off-duty stripper. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's perfect.
Like she maybe just got off work or she's going to work, kind of like dressed down casual, but like full beat.
No, full beat. Like honestly, we might glue down your brows when you come over.
Fuck
like,
yeah.
yeah. And like do like 3 fake lashes. Like that's the vibe. No, if I have anything to give in this life, it is makeup. I have now a vanity and like just the makeup is extreme, but it's my favorite. It's like my meditation for some reason.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love doing friends' makeup.
And I have to do it before the show. People are like, what do you have, hair and makeup? I'm like, no. I do everything like old school, like junior high theater style. I have to do my own makeup before a show because it calms me.
I agree. Oh my God, it would feel so weird if somebody was like, if I had to, not in, like, I love talking to people, like clearly, but like something about, either I'll like make whoever's with me backstage, like let me do their makeup sometimes. Yeah. If I've already done mine, I'm like, okay, I put like a little concealer on, some powder, and like I'm ready to go. But I'm like, do you want to cut crease? Like, I'm on in 20. Do you want to cut crease? Yeah, that's literally, oh my God. Or what, you came to one of my shows. Do you remember, it was so long ago, I had you do Ina?
Oh, yeah. And, in Brooklyn.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. That show was so fun. I remember you putting on like the lipstick backstage in that tiny little green room we had. Good times. Wow.
Good times.
And there were 15 people in that room because like I can't say no. So.
But that's what brings me joy is I think, people see us on the internet and they don't realize the other shit that we've done and like how we got there. And like the years of improv theater that I had to do to 4 people in an audience saying yes and being like, can I get a suggestion from the audience? And they're like, yeah, here's a suggestion. Quit. You suck.
Literally. Or they'll just be like butthole. And I'm like, that's a good one. Let's start it off. Like, I'm also so bad at improv. Like at the end, I did like one improv class for fucking UCB, and I remember like late in it being like, I don't know if yes and is the best way to do it. Like I would just be like, no, restart. Like that's not it. I'm like, I don't know if I sit well with that.
Can I ask you, how did you, like, I know that I'm smart in a very creative way, but like we said earlier, I don't understand taxes. Books aren't my thing. I don't really know how to read, but how the fuck did you go to Georgetown and what did you study?
Oh, so I'm definitely the kind of the queer stereotype of like, world's best boy. Like I just felt like I had to be so good at everything to like make up for the fact that I was gay. That was like such a whole part of my like high school experience. And not that my parents in any way were putting some crazy pressure on me. I definitely put that on myself to be like, I need straight A's, right? And my parents were just like, yeah, like great job. Like what the fuck? Like honestly, like go out. But I went to Georgetown. I had no idea what I wanted to do because I wasn't out. So I didn't feel like anything I acted in, I was so bad because like I was, it was just like a mask on a mask on a mask. Like it was just so bad. And so then, I kind of just followed my sister who was there, and Georgetown is obviously so political. So it's mostly people studying government, but they did have like this small film school within it. And I joined that, and it just like, it changed my life because not really because of like, a specific thing. It was mostly just like, I finally kind of put myself in front of a camera and started to come out. Right. And I like met a few of my best friends that like I'm still so close with today that, it clicked. It was like, I don't know, everything that got me there was so opposite to the ending, you know, like like, I'm like, oh God. And there is a part of me that just, I'm like, what if I had done theater in high school and felt comfortable doing that? But I like where I'm at now. So I don't regret anything. And it also
it was a part of your journey.
And it's funny, like at its core, I'm like, this is insane that I did all this. But I read so many books though, that I can't read books anymore. Right. And now I just like, I love reading a script, but I'm like, I love watching. And that's, I think what I learned in that is I was like, media, what it can do for people, how small it can be, how big it can be. Like that to me was just like, oh, this is exactly what I need to do. And then once I got in front of the camera, I was like, oh yeah, I hate when anyone else is on camera. Like, and I'm like, I don't like the way they do it. Like, I think that was like such a click, but God, Benny, I wish like, cause you like studied acting all the way through.
Yeah, but I had such a good theater program in high school. When I got to college, I mean, I went to Ole Miss on a whim because I didn't get into USC or Pepperdine. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
going to be in Malibu, SoCal, like a movie star,
Same.
90210.
They don't let anyone in, by the
Anyone.
way. Miss Steven Spielberg's School of Film and Economics. Like, I'm like, no, like, thanks for the invite. Like, fuck y'all. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I got into fucking Georgetown and not USC, but we love it.
We love it.
We grow. Yeah.
So, so I ended up at Ole Miss and they had a good theater program, but not really. And I went in being like, I always knew I wanted to do SNL. So I would tell my professors, guys, this is great that we're doing Commedia dell'arte, but I'm never going to be doing like, I've already studied Shakespeare in high school. Like I had an amazing theater teacher growing up who just changed my life. And so when I got to college, I was like, this is bullshit. I was like, you're giving these kids a sack of lies. Because I was like, they can't afford to do regional theater the rest of their lives and survive. I'm like, if you don't know how to like go to New York and wait 6 tables and then maybe get, do TV. I was like, TV and film. That's the only way you're going to make money, know? And out of my program, I'm one of the only people who's still doing it because I just butted heads with all my professors in college. I was like, this is a crock of bullshit. We live in Mississippi. How the fuck are we going to get out of here?
Yeah, no, exactly. And then they treat it all as like elusive. And it's like, wait, no, but isn't that what's like, we're supposed to be breaking into? Like, obviously Bradley Cooper was like an alumni and I was like, cool. Like, can he like come speak?
Right.
And they would just be like, no, that's insane. I'm like, wait, but like, aren't we supposed to like have these connections? And they did kind of later in my, like, it was funny. We met with like some directors and people kind of towards the end when they were like, oh yeah, I guess you can like, you guys should like see what it's like to be in LA and like working in one of these places. And I was like, yeah, that would be cute. Thank you. Like obsessed with film theory, but would love to like see what a job looks like in this industry, but no one shows you. It's closed.
No one shows you. No one tells you what's up. I went back and I spoke to the students maybe like 4 years ago. I was so brutal. The only professor I liked, she was like, so you like basically told them to all go fuck themselves and they weren't going to make it. Cause I was like, if I wanted somebody to come back to school and be like, this is how you have to hustle. This is the work ethic. You got to work 6 jobs. You got to figure it out. Like, we're all going to hold hands and do regional theater in Alabama. It's not going to cut it.
No. And I'm like, also, what's your end game? I'm like, if you just want to be famous, I know that that's the shittiest part. So I'm like, cut that.
Right.
Also, like, if you think it'll happen overnight, that is the craziest thing to me. It's like people sometimes, they make like one video and it hits and then they're like, hell yeah, where's my TV show deal? I'm like, baby, I've been looking for mine for years. It does not happen. Like, you have to make 10. Like, you just have to work so hard. And it's so, I mean, obviously it's worth it, but it's like, I think there is that kind of Hollywoody dream thing that is really hard to crush in people. And I'm like, I think it's worked for like 3 people, but those 3 people's dads are directors. Like, I don't know anyone who just kind of like did it. Although I am not one to book up a self-tape, so do not ask me. But like it is so, yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's so weird to study something that isn't like a business degree where they're like, here's literally a job fair with everybody who like will hire you.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. Like, it's like, it's dreamer time. Like, we'll see. Isn't this stuff fun?
I was so jealous of the kids who graduated and they're like, I have an accounting degree. I'm going to be a consultant for Deloitte. Like, they just knew what the next step was. It was like an internship at Morgan Stanley. And then eventually you'd get a job. And I'm like, I'm going to go to New York, work at a sports bar for 10 years and we'll figure it out.
Is that what you did? Did you work at a sports bar?
I worked at the biggest Irish sports bar. Shout out to Stout on 33rd between 6th and 5th.
Stop. Yeah. Oh my God. That's incredible.
I would serve chicken tenders before Madison Square Garden, like Rangers game. And I worked with only Irish and Russians. So I would end up at like in parties in like a fur coat in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn with like Olga and Tatiana. It was great.
Oh my God. You're literally out in like in fucking Coney Island.
Yeah,
like,
truly.
Wow. Okay. That's incredible.
Have you had any survival jobs?
Yeah, I was at a startup and I edited their videos. Oh my God, Heather, I was such a bad employee. Like, I am the Gen Z intern. Like, I cannot take, like, I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's cool. I'm going on break. Like, this isn't my life. But I learned how to edit, and that was
Mm-hmm.
it. And then I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna have a coffee after work and like see if for some reason this internet thing will work for me. If it
Right.
doesn't, I'm gonna be heartbroken for the rest of my life because like I can't do anything else.
Right.
That was it. I'm like, I know I can't do anything else. Like this is it. So, and I think Terry felt that too. He's like, yeah, like make your account public. Like let's see. I'm not really sure you're like exactly like a hard worker and anything else. This is clearly what you're passionate about. So yeah, thank fucking God.
I love it too that Terry's been there since the beginning because that's the way Jeff is. And it's funny, you worked at a startup, but I always say like our relationships are like startups. Like I invested in Jeff and he definitely invested in me. I recently found out that one of our friends pulled him aside and was like, this was like 2 years ago. I was like, how much longer are you going to let Heather do this? And Jeff was like, however long she wants to, it's going to happen. It's going to click. And he was like, okay, because we're just a little worried that she's never going to bring in income.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know.
It's so funny. It's almost like I thought that about myself.
Right.
In a weird way. It's like I was kind of like, shit, like I don't know if this is clicking, you guys. Like I'm like, I can't really, I'm like stealing wigs. Like and then like Terry literally paid my rent for like 6 months until I did my first show at Caroline's. And you know what? He never brings it up. And that's the mark of a good man. He's never brought it up.
Oh, because I literally wake up every day and look at Jeff and go, who's like, I make money now, daddy.
yeah. You make the bed. Like, I'm like, you're so spoiled. No, it's like, it's nice to finally be able to like,
again, buy a jacket.
Buy a jacket, pay for your man's dinner once in a while. Like, that's nice. I'm like, you definitely paid your dues, babe. But
we're not going to like Craig's in LA. We're still going to like, I can afford a Chinese chicken salad at Jones on 3rd, but that's
absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Jones on 3rd and like maybe a little John and Benny's moment. Maybe John and Benny's 3 times a week. Yeah. That's the new vibe. I'm like, okay, this is good. But yeah, oh my God, we ride for our men. And we do. Ride for us.
Literally. Benny, I love and adore you. I just want to say, because I believe very much so, and even though we bitch and complain about absolutely not, is there an absolute yes in your life or anything that you want to manifest for the future? If you're like, absolutely yes to getting my own TV show with characters, like I just believe you have to speak it into existence in order for it to happen. And my audience really likes to get behind that, and we want to push you forward.
Oh my God. Okay. I love it. Well, I love you do not have toxic stan culture. I love your stans. Literally my girls, but I just really want, I wrote this pilot and I'm super excited about it. And we're kind of like, hopefully taking it out in the new year, but it's, about my experience, my queer experience. And it's obviously written and hopefully played by me. And that's what I want. I want shows to exist that are written and played by the people who should write and play them. And
Amen.
I think it's going to end up just making all content like hit in a way that's so hard. I think that's like number one. And also this weird wall between like internet and entertainment and this weird back and forth. Like it feels, it should be like together. It should be symbiotic. So I would like to see that those walls come down and the weird elitism there to fall, because we have things to say. And like, obviously, we are lucky enough to have people respond to it. And I'm like, but they also need to see us on a big stage. Like, it'd be really fun for them to see us in a movie theater. Like this is what I want to do. I'm like, this is fun too, but I'm like, it'll be really fun when we get to play a character for more than a minute. Like, that'll be awesome.
It'll be really,
I promise.
It'll be really great when I go to an awards show,
Yeah, exactly. When we like are absolutely like trolling Juliana Rancic on a red carpet, like that's all I've ever wanted. No, but I feel so like lucky, and I cannot believe I get to do this, but also that this weird, bizarre internet world has like brought people like you into my life. Like,
Amen.
It feels so weird and shared. It's like, like your success in every way. I'm just like, Terry and I are your daddies. Like we're back here ready to spoil you whenever you need.
Well, I think I'm going to be in LA at the top of the year, so let's hang out. You know, I love and adore you. And for everybody listening, follow Benny. He's just the best. Benny Drama on Instagram. Benny Drama 7, right?
Oh yeah, there's a 7. It used to be my football number. Are you dead?
Yes.
Yes, baby. Okay, well, I love you so much.
I love you. And thank you for being here. You're the best.
Of course, literally. Heaven.
Love you.